forward the cause. Thanks to people like George who served with him, many other Marines, Navy personnel, of families of wounded and deceased soldiers who have written to the church, to our family, the outpouring at the Marines, sorry George, the outpouring at the time of his death. It wasn't, I was a little bit younger than George, not that much, but I was fortunate to be a teenager and having gotten to know Father Vincent at that stage of my life, because when I was younger, he was in missions and only came home very rarely. So those moments and the hours we got to spend with him were really amazing. And at the time of his death, I know that it was a 2-mile-long procession across the bridge. After the funeral, the Maryville choir sang. There were just so many people there. And being a teenager, you remember this. It was a very emotional time for all of us, of course. But at the end of the day, the letters that came from the Marines' families, how he had comforted their people, their men, what he meant to them in the field. And there was this outpouring over the years. And George and other Marines who knew Father Vincent kept his memory alive and kept his life, in front of us. And I think that's why we are where we are today. There's something in the canon law called fama, which means fame or recognition spread wide of the significance of someone's life. And that's what we've had all these years. It came to fruition in the 2000s when the Archdiocese for Military Services felt that there was enough information about the significance of Father's life and the heroic virtue that it needed to be taken to the Vatican. So the Archdiocese became the diocese that would take this forward in the normal process. All of the information was shared with the Vatican, and in 2006, Father was named a servant of God, which is the first step in the canonization process. The Archbishop was then required to establish a tribunal, and this is a very formal and detailed and lengthy process whereby evidence was gathered. There were letters, depositions from many witnesses who knew Father Vincent or could talk about his life. And these things were all transcribed, and by 2017, there was a body of evidence significant enough that it could be sent to the Vatican. And so the diocesan phase now with the Archdiocese in Washington has been closed out. And also at the same time, or I think it was no earlier, I'm sorry, it's in 2013, the Archbishop established the Capodanno Guild. Basically, the Guild has 2 missions. One, to spread the word about the significance of Father Vincent's life, exactly as George has been doing for so many years, and others as well. And also to maintain the resources that we need to keep this canonization process moving forward. In addition, as I said, to what was gathered up earlier, there's a more formal process called the acta, or gathering these acts to show the heroic virtue of Father's life. Of course, we have the Gran Padre, but also now a new book has been written called Armed with Faith, which also explains the details of Father's life. That can be obtained on Amazon as well. And we're very hopeful, and we pray that soon we will hear that this has taken place. Meanwhile, an alleged miracle has taken place out of the Diocese of Palm Beach. There's a woman there who was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis and prayed for the intercession of Father Vincent to help with her illness. And ultimately, she was deemed cured. She has had MRIs done. There are no lesions anymore in her brain. And from a medical perspective, this has been considered a miracle. So that documentation has now been concluded as well. And that was a long-term process to get all the medical information together and all the testimony. This is quite similar to a court proceeding. In all of these processes getting to the canonization, The cause is really a very strictly run process, and a lot of documentation is required. So that's been done over the past couple of years, and that is now closed. That has also been sent to the Vatican, to the Congregation of Saints to review and determine whether or not Father Capodanno will become a venerable servant of God. One thing that I think has stuck with me through the many years of this process is something that Archbishop Berlioz said at the Archdiocese in one of his homilies. He said, the cause is not anything for Father Vincent. He's in heaven. This is not for him, it's for us and for others, so that we can follow his life of virtue, and that we can serve what he did.